Hello and welcome back. A few days ago I presented to you a video review about the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating, and in that video I showed you the shocking results I had when I tested this product. This product claims to be durable up to 12 months. Some statements in mailings that Masterson sent out when the product was introduced even stated up to 2 years of durability. It also says here on the bottle that it is super hydrophobic, and none of that I could see in my personal testing. Now, one potential criticism one could have about my video is that I didn't use Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap, because here on the bottle it states, maintain vehicle using Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap. So that could be one criticism, that I didn't use that soap, and maybe with that soap the results would not have been as shocking as they were. So in this video, this is a follow-up video, I will actually do exactly the same thing. I will apply the Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating again. I will use this time the Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap, and then we will see if we actually get better results with this product here. However, before we start, we need to dive a little bit into this auto wash soap and, more importantly, test what it actually does in order to understand why you would recommend using that soap. One of the single most important tasks and one of the single most important skill of a critical tester is to ask the question of why. Why do some products work great? Why do some products not work great? Why do some products fail? In order to understand what you see in your testing and then to explain to your viewers, to you, to our audience, why it is that we see, in order to advance the whole detailing industry and in order to spread knowledge. And that's why I can't just go ahead and redo the test of my first video using the Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap by Masterson's, this time instead of the Mystic Snow Foam Auto Wash Shampoo I used in the first video. We first need to understand why would a manufacturer like Masterson's recommend this specific soap here. Because if we ask the question of why does he recommend that, there are several possibilities. For a start, it could just be that he wants to sell more products, so that we not only have to buy the regular car shampoo for all types of waxes and sealants, but when we want to use that specific product, we have to buy that specific soap. Now, I personally think that's an unfair accusation to any manufacturer, because other manufacturers also face those accusations. So that one I'm excluding from the get-go. The other possibility could be that they actually developed and differentiated this car wash shampoo from that one, and not only in terms of color and scent, but they actually did something so that it complements this specific product here, which Masterson says is a ceramic coating, and that it actually does something different. Now, in regards to that, we first start with, again, with the product claims that Masterson puts out, so that we better understand what makes this soap different to the one I used in the first video. So Masterson says, and I quote, "This is the next generation in car washing technology." That's, again, a very bold statement, but we already know that Masterson likes to put out bold statements. Fair enough. "Engineered with advanced SiO2 infusion to create the world's ultimate ceramic car wash." Again, very bold statement, and we already talked about the term SiO2 in the first video. You can have a watch of that. If you didn't see the first video, please go ahead and watch it now. I will link it up there. It delivers a high foaming shampoo. That's an important one. We will talk about it in a minute. Designed to enhance and maintain vehicles with ceramic coatings. That's an important one. For a start, they say it's a high foaming shampoo. Now, if you have used a lot of different sealing shampoos, SiO2 shampoos, ceramic booster shampoos, whatever, you will know that all of them, pretty much all of them, don't foam up nicely. They foam up initially, but the foam cells then implode, and you won't have a high foaming sudsy shampoo. That's down to the ingredients which are used in those types of shampoos. And that's why I said to you, it's important to know the whys. Because when you know that a sealing shampoo usually doesn't foam up nice, you are already very critical when Masterson claims that this is a high foaming shampoo. We will see about that. But then they say it enhances and maintains vehicles with ceramic coatings. So they don't just say it's a pure cleaning shampoo, they talk about an enhancement. Now, to be fair, we don't know what enhancement means. It could mean just an increase in slickness. It could mean gloss. It could mean hydrophobics, whatever it means. They say enhances. So it is supposed to add something. Then they also say SiO2 infused auto wash cleans, that's an important one, and adds hydrophobic protection to your vehicle. So that's the important one. They say and they claim it adds hydrophobic protection to your vehicle. Now, if that means beading or sheeting, we already talked about that differentiation in the first video. We don't know, but they say it adds hydrophobic protection. So when we use this shampoo, we should see an increased effect in hydrophobics. That's what they say, that's what they claim. Then they also say it features extra slick cleaning agents, so it's supposed to be a very slick car shampoo to wash away dirt, grime and mud on your vehicle. That's what every car shampoo should do, so this one as well. That's also important. Works with all ceramic coatings, so not just the Masterson's one, and can be used on top of waxes and sealants. So once again, they say on top, which means they propose or they claim that it adds something on top of an existent LSP, so a last stage protection product, so it doesn't matter if it's a wax, a sealant or a ceramic coating. Silica infused car wash formula delivers brilliant shine, so they actually talk about an increase in shine, and protects against the elements. So they also talk about an increased protection against the elements. They also say it works great in any bucket wash, foam cannon or foam gun, so it's a very versatile product. And the last sentence is an important one again, adds ceramic protection to your car with every wash. So we now know this is not supposed to be a pure cleaning shampoo. They clearly state and claim that this shampoo adds gloss and it adds hydrophobic protection to your car. So, and that's important to know because we cannot just go ahead and redo the first test I did in the first video, because if this product actually does add something on your car's paint, then let's assume I applied this product, I wash the car, and then I see hydrophobic behavior on the car. How do I know as a consumer and especially as a critical tester if the hydrophobic protection I see there is down to the product I applied first or is down to the car wash shampoo? And that's why it's important to ask those questions of why and how those products work. And that's why it's important that I first test the shampoo on its own before I go ahead and test the spray sealant or ceramic coating again. Now, one thing I want to add at this stage is the car shampoo I used in my first video. Masterson's clearly states on the bottle here, the pH balanced snow foam. So they say it's pH balanced. When you have a look in the material safety data sheet of that product, you will find that it is not pH neutral. It is alkaline. So that's already a, let's say, a critical claim. Now what they could mean is that it is pH neutral once it is diluted according to the manufacturer's recommendations in the bucket. Fair enough if they define it like that. For me personally, I don't think it's fair to say this is pH balanced when it is not, when it's alkaline. But let's skip that part. They also say that the product is, and I quote, safe for all waxes and sealant coatings. Now they use a strange term and say sealant coatings. Now, when I read that, I assume that it is also safe for ceramic coatings. If, as a manufacturer, you would say that it is safe for waxes and sealants, but not safe for ceramic coatings, then I honestly, my personal opinion, think you don't know what you're talking about. Because what is the main advantage of a ceramic coating? That it is chemically more resistant than waxes and sealants. So how on earth it would be possible to create a car shampoo that is safe for waxes and sealants, but not safe for ceramic coatings. If that is a ceramic coating, I don't know. But that's something I wanted to add at this point of the video. So I used that one in the first video, and I will now use this one, the correct one, which Masterson recommends, in this video. But we will first test what this shampoo actually does. For that, I prepared the same hood of my Mini once again. I polished the whole hood with polishes without any silicones in it, and I used a very strong, very dependable degreaser. And you can see the results of that polishing now, where you see that the whole hood of my car has water completely sitting on it. There's no hydrophobic effect. This is bare and stripped paint. So we have the perfect canvas for all the testing that we now do. Now, of course, I had to prepare the buckets that I will use in this test. And that means following the instructions on the dilution ratios. Now, Masterson says to add 1 ounce of this shampoo to 5 gallons of water. Now, we in Central Europe don't calculate with ounces and don't use ounces, we use milliliters. And even if you don't know how many milliliters 1 ounce is, it says on the bottle it has 473 milliliters, which accounts for 16 ounces. So I took the 473 milliliter divided by 16, which adds up to approximately 30 milliliters. Not quite, it's 29.7, but I rounded it up. It's 30 milliliters to 5 gallons of water, which is a large bucket. A large bucket has about 18 to 19 liters in it. I had a small bucket, so the 3.5 gallon one, which is not quite half of the 5 gallon one. Usually you have 8 to 9 to maybe 10 liters of water in that small bucket. So that's approximately half of what you have in the large bucket, which means I had to use half an ounce of that, which is 15 milliliters. Now, to be generous, and because I don't know if my water quality here is good enough, maybe it's hard water, maybe that has an effect on something, I used a tiny bit more. So I prepared 20 milliliters of shampoo for a 3.5 gallon wash bucket. Now, that's something I also told you in the first video, you can't do proper testing without a reference product. And that's why I used an additional sealing shampoo with similar claims, which is the Armor All Ceramic Car Wash. Doesn't cost as much as the Masterson's, but with similar product claims. Now, Armor All is not as precise as Masterson's is. Those dilution ratios and those recommendations, they are good. That's a positive thing. Masterson's does that right. Because Armor All says to use 60 milliliters in a bucket, but they don't state how big of a bucket. That makes a huge difference if I use 60 milliliter in a 5 or in a 3.5 gallon bucket. That's double the concentration or half the concentration, depending on how you look at it. So what I did is I thought to myself, let's be fair, let's make things comparable. I used also 20 milliliters of this stuff in an additional bucket. I put the shampoos into the buckets. The Armor All dissolved very well in the bucket because it's a very liquid product. It also has a very pleasant scent to it, which you recognize when you wash the car. It really is a nice scent. That's also unusual for sealing shampoos. And with the Masterson's, I realized something from the get-go. As you can see, it's a very thick car shampoo. And the one thing is, it didn't want to come out of the small measuring cup I used, so I had to use my fingers to really wash everything of the shampoo out of it in order to make sure that I have everything that I measured up in the wash bucket. And the other thing is, I realized that the product sat at the bottom of the bucket. That's something I already realized, and I criticize with the Chemical Guys shampoos because they are so thick. They tend to sit at the bottom of the bucket. If you have a grit gut, you don't see that. If you don't use a grit gut, as I did in my testing here, you actually see that. So you have to make sure that you properly mix up the water and to make sure that the shampoo dissolves properly in the bucket. I made sure of that in order to make sure that the testing is fair. But you as a consumer, I think one of Masterson's goals is to make it simple for consumers. That aspect of this shampoo is not simple, because if you don't realize that, that's already a potential mistake that you could make with that product, which could lead to it not working as the manufacturer recommends. I made sure that it is properly dissolved in the wash bucket, and then I washed over the two sides of the Mini. I then rinsed the car, and what is clearly visible from the pictures I'm just showing you is that none of these two shampoos created any visible effect, meaning they don't add any significant or visible hydrophobic effect. So according to the manufacturer's recommendations in regards to dilution ratios, we already saw that it doesn't work. So now, to be fair, and maybe again there's something wrong with the water I'm using, I doubled up the concentration, so I added 20 more milliliters of both of those shampoos in the respective wash buckets. So that's already double the concentration that Masterson recommends. It's even, actually, if we are scientific about it, it's more than double, because we already took out some water of the wash buckets during the first round of washing cycles. So I washed the two sides of the Mini again, I rinsed it, and then I saw on the side of the Armor All a very, very, very light increase in hydrophobics, which means the water wasn't sitting flat on the surface, but there were some places in which the water started to breaking up. On the side of the Mastersons, I still didn't see any effect. So, in the recommended dilution ratios from these manufacturers, we see that we have no increase in hydrophobics with the Mastersons, despite what Mastersons claims on the back of this bottle here. We have a slight increase with the Armor All Shield. Now, there's one tip we on this channel always give you in regards to sealing shampoos. If you want to get the best out of them, you wash your car with a regular car shampoo, and then before you rinse the car, you pour a little bit of the car shampoo pure into the wash mitt, and then you wash over the car again. That way, I wouldn't say you're washing the car, you're almost sealing it, and that way you have the maximum concentration of those products on your paint, and usually that makes a huge difference. So I did that with those two as well. I washed the hood of the Mini again, I rinsed it, and then you can see that we have an incredibly good and strong hydrophobic effect on the side of the Armor All, which really is impressive, which can hang with the best of them I ever saw. And on the side of the Mastersons, you see that the water is still sitting completely flat on the panel. And that concludes the first round of testing of the Mastersons Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap, which already we can see that one claim that Mastersons puts out there, namely that it adds hydrophobic protection, I could not see in my testing there, whereas the Armor All shampoo worked really well. At least if you use it not as recommended, but with the little trick I just gave you. So for the further testing of this video, there's one thing we now already know, which is if I reapply the Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating to the car and then I use the Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap, the effects that we see will be probably from the spray sealant or the ceramic coating, because that's something we have to talk about, that happens a lot in the detailing industry. If a manufacturer gives you a system of, let's say, two products and both of them are hydrophobic, let's assume you applied this spray sealant or spray coating to your car, you then wash the car, you see hydrophobics, all is good. You then go ahead and wash the car with a shampoo that supposedly adds hydrophobic properties, and you also see when you rinse the shampoo off that you have hydrophobic protection on your car. How do you as a consumer and we as critical testers know which product is responsible for the hydrophobic effect? Is it the spray sealant? Is it the shampoo? Is it a combination of the two? And that makes durability claims very hard to believe. That's something that happens a lot in the ceramic coating realms and industry, when you see that some coating manufacturers, they put out durability claims of 3, 5, 7, 8 years. They even have lifetime warranties when you bring the car to the installer once a year. And then once a year, this installer adds an additional product on top of the existing coating, which adds hydrophobic properties. So all that those guarantees give you is a guarantee for a hydrophobic effect, because you as a consumer never know when you wash your car and you see the water beating up, is it the coating? Is it the topper? Is it the maintenance product? What is it? And that's something that happens a lot, and that's why it's so important to test those things. Now, before we go ahead and actually do that test again of the first video, we have to do one additional test, which is the following. We already saw that the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap does not create a hydrophobic surface in the sense that it creates a beading surface. I would also say it doesn't create a surface that sheets, but it could be that this product leaves something behind which masks any other wax, sealant or coating. We also have to test for that. And in order to do that, I polished and degreased and paddle wiped the hood once again. You can see the results there. The water is again lying completely flat on the whole hood. And then I used a product which I know is highly and strongly hydrophobic, which is the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detailer. A detailer. Meguiar's does not claim that this is a ceramic coating of some sort. It is a ceramic detailer, which is still, in my personal opinion, not ideal, but it is fair. They are not saying this is ceramic coating, and you can clearly see, and you can go back and watch the first video I did about the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating, how that performed in regards to hydrophobics, and how the Meguiar's product performs in regards to hydrophobics. You are seeing the live pictures right now. I know this is a hydrophobic product, that's why I used it on the whole hood. I then went ahead, used the same wash bucket I still had from the first round of testing, and washed over the surface, which is now protected with the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detailer. And as you can see, as soon as I rinsed the shampoo off, there was no change in the hydrophobic effect of this product here. Which means we now know two things. The Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap does not add any significant hydrophobic effect, despite what the manufacturer claims, and it does not alter or mask any hydrophobic effect of a protective product. This means we can now go ahead and actually repeat the test, because we know any hydrophobic effect that we see from the Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating by Masterson's will be the effect of that product and that product alone, and that the shampoo probably, most likely, will not alter this effect. That's why I went ahead and polished the right side of the Mini once again. I used a panel wipe. You can see the results of that there. The water is again sitting flat on the surface. I intentionally used the right side of the hood of my Mini this time, because in the first video I used the left side, in order to show you that everything is right with the right side, and that no one can go ahead and say that the right side is different than the left side of the hood, and that is the reason why this product doesn't perform. So I then reapplied the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating again in the same manner as I did in the first video. I used a microfiber applicator. I applied it in a taped off rectangle. I waited a little bit more than 30 seconds. I wiped off the residue, and that was that. Once again, I want to point out this is a very easy to use product. It spreads nicely, and the removal is also effortless, and it creates a slick surface. That's good. That's a positive thing. I then let the coating cure, if there is something in there which cures, for 10 hours. Masterson's recommends to let it cure for 3 to 5 hours. I let it cure for 10 hours. So double the time it supposedly needs. By the way, I already showed you this in the first video in regards to all the promises about gloss or shine or anything from the Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating. I don't see it. And I'll show you the pictures again. I removed the tape, and then I filmed the test section from all possible angles, with all possible angles that the light was hitting the panel. I don't see any enrichment. I don't see a darkening effect. I don't see a shedding effect. I don't see an increase in gloss. I personally don't see any visual changes or effects that this product does. I then sprayed water on the panel once again in order to see if everything is right. And indeed, you can see on the right side, you can see the rectangle in which I applied the product. So there is an initial form of hydrophobics on the surface. I then used more water, and now you can see the difference, and you can see what I said before. You see the difference between a truly hydrophobic product, the Meguiar's, which I didn't reapply. It was still the layer I applied before. You can see the hydrophobics of that. There is no water pooling, there is a high contact angle, there's nice beading. And on the side of the Mastersons, already with just water, we see there is water pooling, the contact angle is not very good, there's not good beading. You could say there's good sheeting, but then again, I personally think when someone tells you that a product is a good sheeter instead of a good beater, that just means it has bad hydrophobics. My personal opinion. So, you see that the products worked fine. Then I prepared the washing cycle tests. I still had the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap from the first round of testing. I kept that. And on the side of the Meguiar's, I wanted to use a pure pH neutral car shampoo, which is PNS Pearl. Insert at this point, I don't think the PNS Pearl is a particularly good car shampoo. I mainly criticize about it that I don't think it's actually creating a slick surface when you wash your car, but it is pH neutral. It doesn't contain anything which would mask the effects of the hybrid ceramic detailer by Meguiar's. I then washed over both sides. On the side with the Meguiar's detailer, I used PNS Pearl, and on the side of the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating, I used Masterson's own and recommended Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap. You saw how I used these two car shampoos on the two sides of the Mini, and I will now show you the results when I rinsed the shampoo off, and I will not add any additional comments to that. I think those results are very clear. The Meguiar's product, I repeat, which Meguiar's says is a detailer, which is very... I personally think Meguiar's is underselling that product. It's, for me personally, I would say it's a quick detailer with sealing properties, or a quick detailer plus, or it's almost borderline a spray sealant. But Meguiar's is fair in how they call their products. That was still there, it was still strongly hydrophobic. And the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating, which the manufacturer claims is a ceramic coating, was once again, as in the first video, completely removed after just one wash cycle, as it was with the other foam or shampoo that I used in the first video. So we now saw in this video that the use of the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap did not change any of the results I presented to you about the Evolution Ceramic Spray Coating of the first video. Why? And that's the reason why it's so important to not just blindly follow what manufacturers promise to you. It was extremely important at the beginning of this video that I clearly showed to you what this product is and what it actually does. Because once again, and as it was the case with this product here, the things that are promised with it, I don't see them. I personally don't see them. Masterson's promises that this is a car soap specifically developed for ceramic coated cars. And it also promises that it takes care of ceramic coated cars, or it adds something, be it gloss, be it hydrophobics or anything. However, when we tested that, we clearly saw that this car shampoo, despite the promises of the manufacturer, does not leave anything behind on the paint. We clearly saw there's a huge difference to another ceramic car wash soap, which actually does something to the paint in regards to the visible hydrophobics. So it's not that this product adds anything on top of this one. In my personal opinion, that's what I saw. I think this is a regular car shampoo. And we also clearly saw that this car shampoo is not able on itself to strip a sufficiently resistant LSP, a last stage protection product, as the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Detailer. That product is a mere mortal quick detailer. That's what Meguiar's says. I think Meguiar's is understating what that is, but it is a quick detailer. Meguiar's is not stating, is not promising, is not claiming, and is not over-promising that this is a ceramic coating. They are not. Masterson says this is a ceramic coating. However, we clearly saw that this soap on its own does not remove or strip that product. It doesn't. So the Masterson's Evolution Ceramic Auto Wash Soap does not add something, and it is not powerful enough to strip a sufficiently resistant product. And that's why the results that we got in this video are exactly the same as we got in the first video. Exactly the same. The fact that I now used this soap compared to the other soap by Masterson's in the first video did not change any of the results I presented to you. The soap still removed this product after one single wash, despite the fact that the manufacturer here on the bottle claims that this product lasts up to 12 months and that it also is super hydrophobic, which once again I showed you what a super hydrophobic product is. This one, in my personal opinion, isn't. So, the results I presented to you in the first video were confirmed with this additional test here. I still stand by everything I said in that first video. Based on everything I saw, based on all my testings, my personal opinion is that what Masterson's does with this product is, at the very, very least, over-promising. And that's my personal opinion, and I stand by that. If the video was helpful, interesting for you, then please leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.